This Turkish firefighter rescues a cat from earthquake rubble and decides to adopt it. In February this year, 2023, a firefighter in Turkey touched animal lovers around the world by adopting a cat he pulled from the ruins of a collapsed apartment block. Ali Kakas, a 33-year-old firefighter, retrieved the black and white cat who had been trapped for 129 hours after the devastating earthquake in Turkey. The grateful cat refused to part with him after being given food and water while Ali continued to search for survivors in Nurdagi, in Turkey's eastern Gaziantep province. He and his colleagues named him Enkaz, a Turkish word for rubble, and treated him as their pet in the hope that his owner would turn up. Heartwarming photos showed Enkaz happily sitting on Ali's shoulder during a break in his team's rescue work. In fact, the firefighter is seen still in uniform and protective gear, posing with the feline perched on his shoulder. It's clear that the black-spotted cat has an appreciation for his hero, as he doesn't budge from the firefighter's side for a moment. "We call him Enkaz, rubble, because we pulled him out of hell," Ali commented. "It may sound a bit out of place, but we wanted it to be a memento in this way," the rescuer assured. The story went around the world after being tweeted by Ukrainian influencer Anton Gerashchenko, an advisor to the war-torn country's interior minister, who has 368,000 followers on Elon Musk's app. Images of Enkaz and Ali in the rubble of Nurdagi have been viewed more than 11 million times on Twitter alone. As heartwarming as this rescue has been, people have also found a way to sympathize with the cat, and at the same time, wish the firefighter. "Hey, not for nothing, but I wouldn't leave this guy's side either," Paula Matisse Twitter user said. Another person admitted, "I don't know who's cuter, the man or the kitten." Despite the comedic thirst over the firefighter's good looks, the common consensus is that Ali has done something truly wonderful, saved the life of a sweet cat. When no one claimed Enkaz, it became clear that the cat's owner had died in the 7.8 magnitude earthquake that shook Turkey and Syria. So, as hopes of finding more human survivors dwindled, Ali took Enkaz with him when he returned to his home in the city of Mardin, about 250 kilometers from Nurdagi. Speaking to one of the local news agencies, Ali said that when the 90-member team arrived in Gaziantep and was working to pull those still alive from under the rubble, he also rescued 3 budgies inside their cage. As for the puss, he now lives with him and his family, who gather around a carpet in their house to eat. Ali said that after the rescue, Enkaz refused to let him out of his sight, so I couldn't leave him either. I saw sadness in this cat. I kept him by my side in case the owner came, but since he didn't come out, I didn't hesitate for a moment to take him with me. It will be a memento, the fireman said at first, and so he did. The cat is now in my house and we sleep together. In fact, my family treats him like another member. We will overcome this trauma together by hugging each other, the rescuer said. No doubt friends, out of a tragic event, we managed to bring some light with this lovely ending. However, this is not comparable to the rescue attempt in our second story, which unfortunately was not so lucky. Firefighter tries to rescue an unconscious kitten from a burning house filled with smoke. Yes, friends, this is a firefighter rescuing an unconscious kitten from a burning house. The footage was shot with a GoPro camera attached to Corey Kalinic's helmet, and in it, he is seen discovering the motionless feline in a burning, smoke-filled room. Someone once said to me, "If you want to increase the number of hits on your website, put up a kitten video." The video shot by the Fresno firefighter went viral in 2013. With the camera strapped to his helmet, firefighter Corey Kalanick captured footage of his heroic rescue of the animal. After firefighters extinguished the burning house, Kalanick entered the home to inspect the premises for anyone or anything in need of rescue. Upon entering one of the rooms, he found the unconscious kitten lying on the floor. He immediately rescued it, ran outside and managed to revive it with an oxygen mask and by spraying it with a bottle of cold water. The video made headlines and everyone cheered and cried for Corey's valiant efforts. Kalanick uploaded the video to YouTube and it garnered more than 1.5 million views in the first 2 weeks. It was that fall when GoPro came across the heartbreaking but uplifting video. They cropped the footage, added their logos, and posted it on their own YouTube channel with the title, "A Firefighter Saves a Kitten." Until then, most of the brand's videos focused on people doing extreme sports like surfing, skiing, skateboarding, and more. So, after having captivated an audience of sports addicts, they could now access a new market, cat and animal lovers. However, the sad part of all this is that, despite the heroic efforts of the wonderful firefighter Corey Kalanick, the precious cat was not so lucky. Although he was taken to an emergency veterinarian that same night, he ended up succumbing to his injuries and eventually passed away due to lung damage caused by smoke inhalation, as reported by the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. While it's sad to know, It's good to know that there are wonderfully brave and loving people out there, so on behalf of all cat lovers, thank you, Corey Kalanick. No doubt, folks, this is a very sad loss. The kitty, however, was in very loving hands to be cared for, the Animal Society spokesperson said. For the camera brand, it was quite a different approach for them, but it turned out to be a marketing success worldwide. The clip garnered 5 million views in a week. By trying something different and appealing to people's emotions, yes, even with cute kittens, GoPro successfully demonstrated how their camera could capture so many memorable moments. However, the brand had no prior knowledge of the kitten's demise, and many considered it irresponsible of them to release the ad titled "Firefighter Saves Kitten" after the sad end. But as Gawker points out, a Redditor who commented on the video thread, as far as I know, what's crucial here is that the brand wasn't using the footage to show a firefighter making sure the kitten had a long and happy life, but to show the great job the firefighter did in his efforts to save the kitten. While there aren't enough sad face emojis to go around, this is not comparable to the exciting rescue in our third story. Portland firefighters use a tiny camera to rescue a hungry kitten from a drainage pipe. It was 2012 in the vibrant city of Portland, Oregon. What seemed like a quiet summer afternoon was interrupted by the heartbreaking meow of a tiny kitten. Portland fire and rescue crews were called to a home near Northeast 118th and Northeast Sandy Boulevard around 7:30 p.m. All this after a neighbor in the area raised the alarm after reporting hearing a kitten crying for help in the walls of a basement. His calls for help resonated in the hearts of brave local firefighters, who did not hesitate to respond to the call for help. When they arrived on the scene, they were met with a challenging scene, a frightened and starving kitten. He was actually trapped and hiding, so it was not an easy task to get to him. The firefighters realized that they would need to use all their resources and skills to complete this rescue mission. Determined to overcome any obstacle, the firefighters armed themselves with an incredible piece of technology, a tiny camera capable of getting into the most inaccessible corners. Firefighters said workers from Apollo Drain and Rooter Service, a plumbing company, joined the rescue effort after they determined that the stranded feline was in one of 4 deep drainage pipes. The professionals used shovels, this plumbing company's tiny camera, and other equipment in a delicate rescue that saved the furry victim from an uncertain fate. Using the plumber's snake camera and with determination in their eyes, they inserted the camera into the pipe and began to explore the subway maze that stood between them and the kitten. That's when the firefighters discovered which pipe the cat was in. They started digging, but still couldn't reach the little feline. So they began to explore the subway labyrinth that stood between them and the kitten. The camera advanced through the narrow ducts, illuminating the path and transmitting images in real time. The firefighters followed every movement, every indication of where the trapped kitten was. Time was ticking and anguish was mounting, but giving up was not an option. They knew that the fate of this little being depended on their perseverance. The firefighters began pumping air into the pipe from the opposite end, and the cat slowly returned to the opening. After navigating a series of twists and turns, finally the camera revealed the sight everyone longed for: the kitten, exhausted and trembling, still clinging to a thread of hope. The firefighters' hearts were filled with determination, and they solved it by freeing it from its anguished prison. With a combination of technical skill and bravery, the firefighters moved into the pipe, armed with specialized tools. As they advanced, the tension mounted. Every move was meticulously calculated. There was no margin for error. Fortunately, after a defiant struggle, the brave firefighters managed to grab the kitten with trembling but steady hands. Amid cheers and applause, they emerged triumphantly from the dark pipe, carrying the little kitten in their arms like a precious treasure. 6 hours after rescue efforts began, and with the encouragement of some sausage, firefighter Scott Pearson was able to free the kitten, whom the fire crew named Champ. He was scared and hungry, Pearson said. Nonetheless, I'm sure he was glad to get out of that dark, wet hole. News of the kitten's epic rescue quickly spread throughout the city. The firefighters were hailed as heroes, admired for their courage and dedication in the line of duty. The story of their courageous act became an inspiration to many, demonstrating the power of teamwork, compassion, and human determination. The Oregon Humane Society first cared for Champ, and its employees estimated that he was then about 3 weeks old from birth. David Lytle of the Humane Society said Champ was a mix of tabby and tortoise shell. Fortunately, he emerged unscathed with no injuries from his 6-hour ordeal, being very friendly and purring a lot. Champ became available for adoption in about a month after he gained enough weight to be spayed and found a loving home thanks to the generosity of a local family. His story became a symbol of hope and overcoming, reminding everyone that even in the darkest of times, there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. At this point, haven't you seen this heroic rescue yet? I wouldn't miss it.